We usually drive. We fly once in a while, but because of everything that's going on, we drove this time. But it's a lot of traffic.
Airline anxiety has millions of people changing their holiday plans, but not the spirit of the season.
This is News 3 at 6 with Kendall Tenney and Beth Fisher.
Good evening. Tens of thousands coming to Las Vegas for the holiday weekend would rather jump behind the wheel and sit in traffic than board an airplane.
The Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority says the majority of travelers coming from the Golden State say it's easier to drive than fly. Stacey Escalante took a trip down to Barstow and found that's true now more than ever.
Time again to look at the latest highway conditions across the Mojave for your ride towards Thanksgiving.
Perched on a hilltop in Barstow, they get a bird's eye view of the I-15 flow.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Tim Anderson's been at the highway stations for 9 Thanksgivings. This will be his 10th.
This is the second most traveled week of the year on Interstate 15. Last year, you had 180,000 vehicles on the I-15 alone traveling this week. We should see quite an increase with the fact that you can't get in an airplane as easily as you could last year at this time.
It's the highlight of our trip.
The Sobols picked the freeway over flying.
Our deal is there's 8 of us traveling in this van that we've rented from San Jose to Las Vegas to see my folks.
I think choosing between 8 plane tickets and renting the van and the September 11th, it just seemed like this is the right decision for this year.
Flying's faster, but we save some money, and with everything going on right now and the airports, we decided to drive this time.
Although September 11th had an influence on some people's travel plans, the convention authority says out of the 9 million Southern Californians who travel to Vegas each year, 90% of them drive.
Some say it's cheaper and flying doesn't save that much time.
Driving is all right, especially when you're driving to Vegas. When you're driving to someplace fun, it's all right.
It will be mostly cloudy today through Thanksgiving Day.
Back at the highway stations, they encourage people to stay on the ground. After all, they like being the co-pilot. In Barstow, Stacey Escalante, News 3.
According to those who monitor I-15, this is the second busiest week on the interstate. The week between Christmas and New Year's is the busiest.
Yeah, as millions are hitting the roads for this holiday weekend, there are a lot of travelers expected to pass through McCarran Airport. 90,000 people over the holiday weekend. Continuing our top story team coverage, Dana Wagner joins us live from McCarran, where things, Dana, have been relatively quiet most of the day.
Yeah, that's true, Kendall. Fairly light traffic out here at McCarran Airport, but that is expected to change as people now getting off work, and many of them headed to the airport for the 4-day travel weekend. So far, there have been few problems.
The only problem is lost the bag. So we have to wait for another airline to come in to hopefully be on it.
Well, that's nothing new. That's been going on for years. What is new are the lines. Tighter security has led to some challenges.
Just waiting in lines and checking, and it takes forever for them just to check everyone's bags.
I know who I am by now. Many times I pull my driving license out.
You guys have a good flight, all right? Thank you. Next, please.
We talked to people who flew in from New Jersey, Washington, D.C., Detroit, San Antonio, Milwaukee, Seattle, and just about everyone says their trip went as smooth as butter.
It went quick. The lines were long, but they kept moving.
Actually, it was very nice. Very right through the line.
You seem surprised.
Well, what everybody says, but it was nice.
Parking will be tight out here this weekend. If you plan to bring your car, you might be forced to park in the remote parking lot and take the shuttle in. Remember, get out here 2 hours before your flight. Reporting live from McCarran, I'm Dana Wagner. Kendall, back to you.
All right, Dana, besides arriving in plenty of time for your flight, airport security is once again warning people not to wrap any gifts if you plan to take them with you on the airplane. Security workers could make you unwrap them so they can inspect what's inside.
While travel may be slow at the airport, many locals are just getting started on their holiday trip. Tom Hawley joins us live from the top of the Rio with a great view of I-15. Tom, any problems?
Not that bad. Most of our problems are local right now in terms of accidents on the roadways, but we heard from Stacey Escalante a few minutes ago about the greater numbers of cars expected on I-15. Let me tell you, as heavy as some of that traffic might be now, it's not as bad as it will be a year from now. That's because, as we told you last month, the California Department of Transportation, Caltrans, is getting ready to do hundreds of millions of dollars worth of projects along I-15 for the next 6 years or so. So it's going to be a little bit busy now, a lot busy a year from now. Let's show you the long line of cars. You can see it extending out towards the edge of the valley at Sloan. A lot of those motorists are coming in from Southern California, but you also have some locals. Those are the tail lights that are heading out towards I-215, the Beltway. And in fact, I mentioned some accidents. There is one on the Beltway eastbound at Green Valley, a multi-vehicle accident on southbound I-15, or rather southbound US 95 at Sunset Road, another accident in Buffalo and Summerlin. So kind of a rough day for some of the people out on the roadways. Let's go ahead and give you a different view, this time from the Fitzgerald's camera. This is the center, the belly of the beast, if you will, for locals at US 95 and I-15, the Spaghetti Bowl interchange. And again, a few accidents on the outskirts, but mostly what you have to look out for now is a lot of extra tourist traffic. Maybe not the busiest Thanksgiving Las Vegas has ever seen. Nonetheless, there are going to be a lot of extra people in the resort corridor, so play it cautious, play it safe over the long holiday weekend. Reporting live from the 51st floor of the Rio at the Voodoo Lounge, I'm Tom Hawley. Back to you, Beth.
Yeah, Tom, we probably won't see a record number of people hitting the Strip this weekend. Thanksgiving is always a slow weekend in Las Vegas, and this year is expected to be even slower. The Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority is predicting about 265,000 people will come to Las Vegas for the long holiday weekend. That's down almost 2% from last year. The good news, though, is they're predicting those visitors will spend more than $177 million in non-gaming revenue, nearly $20 million more than last year. Experts say non-gaming revenue is up because Las Vegas offers so many alternatives to gambling.
A new progress report indicates Nevada students are testing below average on science exams. The National Assessment of Education released the results of a science test given to 4th and 8th graders across the nation. 20% of Nevada's 4th graders passed the test compared to 27% nationally. As for Nevada's 8th graders, 23% reached a passing level. That's compared to 30% of the nation's 8th graders passing the exam. Nevada 4th graders ranked 34th out of 39 states taking the test, while Nevada 8th graders ranked 30th out of 38 states.
For many Nevada children, their grandparents play the role of parent. And that's the case for this Boulder City family, and they're not alone. In the state of Nevada, 41,000 grandparents claim responsibility for their grandchildren. But until a new law took effect, grandparents had very few rights. This grandma helped get the kinship care law on the books.
Because there's a lot of relatives and grandparents that don't go to Nevada State Welfare. Their children are not through the system. They're just out there struggling on their own.
This new law will help those families. It just took effect last month. Essentially, it provides that grandparents have the same rights as foster parents.
It's one of the most effective ways for police to catch criminals.
But drivers use them to make a personal statement.
I'd like to go back to the old distinctive plate that everybody knew was Nevada.
Tonight, we'll talk to some officers who say plans to offer more custom plates could cause problems when it comes to fighting crime.
But first, Sue and Scott with a look at what's coming up tomorrow on Sunrise.
As you can see, we're in the mood.
It's that time.
Another Thanksgiving is here, and that means friends, family, and food.
Tomorrow morning on News 3 at sunrise from our beautiful set, we will show you one of the Valley's biggest producers of delicious pies.
And we'll go to the home of a family as they prepare their holiday feast.
We're also talking traffic turkeys, some annoying Valley roadway spots, along with your weather forecast and much more tomorrow on News 3 at sunrise.
Hello, I'm Jim Snyder. Ever since I got back from covering the attacks in New York City, we have been working to come up with a lasting way to remember not only the tragedy, but also the triumph of human compassion that followed. Many of you have asked for copies of our stories from New York and the tribute to the heroes we aired on News 3. You can get it all on this tape and help families struggling right here in our community by making at least a $20 donation at one of these locations. And the tape is our gift to you.
Right now at the all-new Jim Marsh Chrysler Jeep, we're overstocked with new 2001 model Chryslers and Jeeps, and they must go immediately. We're offering 0% financing on every remaining 2001 in stock. and make no payments till 2002.
That's right, 0% interest and no payments till 2002.
And if we can't offer you a better deal, we don't expect your business.
It's the all-new Jim Marsh Chrysler Jeep on Centennial Parkway, just a half-mile west of I-95.
It's beginning to look a lot like shopping. This Friday from 6 to 11 a.m. at Walmart, where you save big on this Ride and Drive Power Wheels Little Wrangler for boys or girls, only $69.96. And get festive with our 18-foot rope light set in assorted colors, just $5.94 each. And check out this price. Our Apex DVD CD player with MP3 playback, only $74.87. Only this Friday, only from 6 to 11 a.m. at Walmart.
You're watching Southern Nevada's #1 choice for news. This is News 3 at 6.
Police officers are trained to use vehicle license plates as a source of information in fighting crime.
But what happens if those plates are confusing or, even worse, impossible to read from a distance?
News 3's Steve Krupe has been investigating sweeping changes in Nevada plate designs, and Steve, traffic officers aren't too happy about the situation.
That's right, Kendall. This is the easy-to-read design that most Nevadans have had on their cars for the past few years. But by the end of next year, it will be illegal to have this on your vehicle. Everyone will be getting the newer Sunset design plate. Or, if you pay a little extra, you can have one of 40 specialty designs. When Metro Sergeant Philip George keeps an eye on Las Vegas traffic, he's now confronted with a veritable art gallery of license plate designs.
And we've gone away from the whole purpose of the plate.
The purpose of the plate is to easily identify the vehicle for law enforcement and for taxation purposes. But recently, that purpose has been augmented by fundraising.
Well, we have about 40 different plates that are available to the general public. We've just come out with the agriculture plate. The next one will likely be the appreciation of animals plate.
They got the ones for the children, the art ones. My child is in art class ones. Those are cool too.
A lot of car owners love the new plates. Clearly they're more colorful and they support a good cause. But police officers say they are making things more confusing and making police officers' jobs more dangerous.
That plate over there on that Jeep's a prime example. You can't tell what that is.
How close did you have to get to see the plate?
I had to get right up within a couple of car lengths before I could read the plate clearly.
And that's not good for you?
No, that's not good for me at all.
I've been in Nevada 48 years, and I wish they were blue and silver.
Despite the criticisms, the Nevada legislature has ruled the days of a uniform plate design are gone, and the state's official color scheme is anybody's guess.
Yellow, blue, purple, pink. Mine's blue, though.
And as Sergeant George goes about his business, he is worried that even more new designs are on the way, and indeed they are. Some states already have more than 200 different backgrounds. Now, starting this week, when car owners get their registration renewals in the mail, they will also get a set of new plates. And brand new display cases are going up at all of the DMV locations, showing off those dozens of other designs. Beth?
Steve, thanks. The first specialty plate in Nevada was the Lake Tahoe plate. It has generated more than $1 million to care for the environment. The least popular Nevada plate is the one for Coast Guard veterans. It has raised less than $1,000.
It's a bit overcast today, and a lot of people wondering what Thanksgiving's going to be like.
Dr. Jim will deliver some answers coming up on News 3, where news comes first.
With Sprint Caller ID, you can see who's calling and know exactly how to answer.
Michael.
Hey, Mom.
I hate knowing you're all alone on your birthday.
What do you say you join us in Hawaii?
My treat. Oh, Hawaii sounds great. Listen, I'll call you back. Let's party!
And now, at a time when you call 1-877-1-SOLUTION to order Sprint Caller ID, you'll receive this free Caller ID phone.
Quiet! It's my daughter.
Order today.
When family comes to visit,
it's right to the feast. I could eat here every day.
Why should I cook? We're just gonna end up at the feast.
they got a buffet where I work, but this
It's a feast. Everything is so fresh.
Choices, baby, choices. Appetizers, soups, salads, carved roasts.
And those incredible desserts.
I love this place.
The wedding's just the beginning. Oh, yeah.
Motor Trend, the magazine that brings you the latest in new models, exotic cars, and concept vehicles, comes to life at the Motor Trend International Auto Show, November 22nd through the 25th.
See the hottest 2002 model vehicles, 2003 model sneak previews, exotic cars, hot rods, and more.
Meet NASA astronaut Rick Searfoss on Kids Day, Thursday the 22nd.
The public park's free at the Motor Trend International Auto Show, November 22nd through the 25th, Las Vegas Convention Center.
Where the pages of Motor Trend come alive.
It's very clear our love is here to stay.
Heading home for the holidays? See your Chrysler dealer first for the security of 7-year or 100,000-mile powertrain protection on any new Chrysler. Plus, we've extended 0% APR on select 2002s through the end of the year.
We're here. Our love is here to stay.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries.
It's amazing. I shouldn't even be out here. It's ridiculous. But it's pretty beautiful. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
We came out here and we just got pummeled and we ended up way over there, so.
Probably right. He shouldn't be out there. A wicked storm moved in from the Pacific Ocean, creating some perfect waves for surfers in Santa Cruz. Waves that reached up to 18 feet in some areas.
Wow.
A challenge for some, others deciding the water was a little too risky. And for good reason. The Coast Guard has issued a heavy surf advisory through Thursday.
And that's the storm Dr. Jim told us was headed our way.
It is headed our way, but the main part of that energy is going to the north of us. But we are going to get some of that rain, but definitely by the end of the weekend, that's going to change everything. But not so much for tomorrow. Let's take a look outside now from our Mandalay Bay camp. We have some cloudiness moving into the region, but that's about it. We're looking at 65 degrees, the temperature at the airport, southwest winds at 3 miles an hour, 27% relative humidity. Dew point down into the 30s. A live look now at our Wells Fargo WeatherNet station over at Sahara and Cimarron in the lakes, 61 degrees, west winds at 2 miles an hour. Not a bad day today, but the temperatures are dropping just a little bit. In fact, our official high out at the airport today was a bit cooler than what we've seen recently, but we still are above average for this time of the year by 3 degrees. 68 was the high. 47 was our low this morning. That was also the low yesterday morning. Air quality remains about good to moderate here in the valley. Well, the storm system we were talking about, Oakland and San Jose have been getting their share of it this evening with showers, a couple of thunderstorms within this as well. Pretty windy conditions, and the winds are also helping to produce those big surfs, those big waves that the surfers like to see. And you can see our front stretches down here to the south, and this is where the main energy is to the north of us in Northern California and Oregon, but some of that is going to leak down here into Nevada. We are going to see a chance for showers in our forecast over the next 24 hours. And what I mean by that just is that, a chance for showers. I'm not really expecting showers, possibly up in the mountains. Certainly in the northern half of the state, we're going to see some rain, probably a little bit of snow up into the mountains. But as you can see, the showers are staying to the north of us. Even the showers down here to the south that were moving in our direction are kind of fizzling out as that energy gets pushed up over the mountains. Not enough energy left over on the other side of the mountains, which is, by the way, where we are, for those showers to make it here, but we're already seeing the showers beginning to the north of us. This storm system is more going to miss us than anything, but if you're driving to the north, you want to be aware of that, but I don't think we're going to be seeing a lot of snow. The next storm system, which is going to be behind this one, which we'll get here by about Saturday or so, different story. We're going to get a lot of rain out of that one. But that's what we're looking at for tomorrow. More clouds, just a chance for a sprinkle or two. If we see any snow tomorrow, it'll be above 9,500 feet at Mount Charleston. That's getting pretty high. 58 for the daytime high, west winds 15 to 25 miles an hour. About a high of 71 out at Lake Mead for tomorrow. Mostly cloudy skies, southwest winds 20, maybe 10 to 20 miles an hour. The water temperature is dropping down to 72 degrees. 49 for our low here in Las Vegas, 67 for the high tomorrow. Not a big cool down. A little more cloud cover, 20% chance for rain. Not a lot. Don't expect a lot because I really don't expect to see that, but it should be a pretty nice day anyway. And in your 5-day outlook, this is where the changes come. Look what happens on Saturday and Sunday. Showers are likely on Sunday, a high of 54 by Sunday. You are going to feel a difference by the end of the weekend.
Thanks, Dr. Jim. Coming up in sports, a former Las Vegas Outlaws running back is looking pretty smart today.
And a UNLV football player has that all-American feeling. Mitch will tell you about that coming up next in sports.
Here are tonight's Nevada numbers.
Don't miss our incredible store-wide sale. Save 20 to 40% on decorator fabrics, 50% on Christmas decorations, fleece prints and solids only $4.99 a yard. Friday and Saturday at Hancock Fabrics.
Over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house we go.
Now head home for the holidays in any new Jeep vehicle with the security of 7-year or 100,000-mile powertrain protection. Plus, we've extended 0% APR and select 2002s through January 8th.
Hooray for the fun, is the pudding done? Hooray for the pumpkin pie.
There's a place in everyone's imagination where if you believe, anything can happen. FX Alive, starring Rick Springfield. FX like you've never seen it before.
Starting this Friday at 10 a.m., Sofa Connection will be blowing it out with unbelievable savings in every department. Like this contemporary sofa, looks like $900. It's only $599. And during this event, make no down payment, and pay no interest until 2003. 2003. Get here early for best selection and don't pay until 2003. This Friday, skip the mall and make a beeline for the real bargains. They're only at Sofa Connection.
Hold on. We've got more prizes. For the student who sells the most candy, a weekend pass to Coastal Kingdom to get out there and sell that candy.
The Volkswagen Passat. It only looks like $1 million.
UNLV defensive back Kevin Thomas can one day tell his grandkids he was an All-American in his senior year with the UNLV Rebels. Today, KT was named third-team All-American by a publication called The Football News. He is currently tied for second in the nation this season with 7 interceptions, and he leads the nation with 213 return yards, also throw in 3 touchdowns. Kevin becomes only the second UNLV defensive player to ever gain All-American status. He's a big play guy who never missed a game in his UNLV career. At Channel 3, we like he. He hate me. The former Las Vegas Outlaws running back is now on the 53-man roster of the Philadelphia Eagles. His real name is Rod Smart, and he's expected to play this weekend mostly on special teams for the Eagles. He was the biggest star in the now-defunct XFL simply by putting "He hate me" on the back of his jersey. He said it was a reflection of what defenders thought of him when he made them look bad on TV. Now he hate 3. Browns head coach Butch Davis has got to be hating 3 of his players that were arrested yesterday. Browns fullback Mark Sellers and cornerback Lamar Chapman arrested for cocaine distribution. Then a couple of hours later, as if that's not bad enough, his defensive tackle Gerard Warren arrested in Pittsburgh for carrying an illegal firearm. These aren't your daddy's Cleveland Browns. Jerry Perenchio has left his job as Oscar de la Hoya's promoter, but that will bring Bob Arum back into the picture more than likely. Perenchio owns Univision Sports, says he wants to start another television network, so he needs more free time. Can't promote Oscar. Bob Arum made Oscar a ton of cash in the early 90s, but they split a couple of years ago on very bad terms. Now, with water under the bridge, a little time, both guys have cooled down and they might hook up again, but on a fight-by-fight basis. Well, the UNLV basketball team is looking great so far. They're 2-0 heading into Saturday's showdown with the Cincinnati Bearcats. Bob Huggins and his talented Cats have embarrassed UNLV the last couple of meetings, but under Spoon, things could be much different. First of all, the Rebels have a ton of confidence after winning their first 2 games, and they've got the right man leading the charge. Back when Coach Spoonhour was still at St. Louis University, he found a way to beat the Cats with less talented players. Let's hope now with better guys to coach, he can turn the trick for UNLV. The game will be nationally televised on ESPN2. I remember working back in St. Louis for a while, and even when St. Louis was down, Coach Spoon always found a way to get up and really give the Bearcats a tough game. So, and him and Huggins are good friends, and so hopefully that'll be something he can pay back Bob for some pain.
Yeah, keep our fingers crossed for it anyway. Thanks, Mitch. Kids around the world have already started to work on their Christmas wish lists.
And to keep up with the demand, Santa Claus is opening another workshop, and this one's a little closer to home. We'll take you there coming up on News 3, where news comes first.
Citibank is the largest issuer of credit cards in the world. Our success is due to our innovative technology, our commitment to our customers, and our outstanding employees. One of our exceptional employees is Brian Callagher and our Internet Services Group.
I feel very fortunate to have worked at Citibank, and I've met some really incredible people here and had some very...
I'm Nina Raditich. Here's what's new for News 3 Nightside at 11 o'clock. Operation Enduring Freedom intensifies. We'll give you a look at the kind of American soldier who is already on the ground behind enemy lines. Plus, a bomb threat at the Tropicana lands this man in jail. Find out more about what happened inside the resort today. Those stories and more tonight at 11 after Law & Order. Kendall?
Thanks, Nina. Santa and his elves are working overtime to make the Christmas toys, and this year the lists are getting so long, Santa has to open another workshop. This one will be up and running on Friday in North Pole, New York. Santa says having a location in the U.S. makes it easier for the elves to get the presents ready for Christmas Eve, and visitors can even tour this workshop to get a look at what is topping this year's wish lists.
You guys have kids. What is topping this year's wish lists?
In our house, it's anything to do with Monsters, Inc., and Jackson loves bugs right now, so it's all about bugs.
Right on. In your house?
Everything. If she sees a commercial, that's it. And then, 5 minutes later, the next thing, and then the next thing. And so my wife went, oh, the checkbook. Woohoo!
Santa's going to be confused by all that.
I'm confused.
Thanks for joining us. See you at 11.
Take care.